This weekend, Ryan,
Yeah, buddy.
we got ourselves college football. Real counting towards the season. College football, it's going to kick off with Fox Big Noon 30 at 12:30 Eastern on Fox. The Nebraska Bug Eaters, Cornhuskers, whatever you want to call them, and the Northwestern Wildcats are going to be kicking it off in Ireland. The first of 11 games that will be played this weekend, 7 of which will feature 2 FBS teams. This was not a battle at all last year when Northwestern went to Lincoln and got absolutely cracked 56-7. Hopefully a little better showing than that for the fans in Dublin.
Northwestern's helmets are sweet, so even if they lose, they're going to look sweet doing it. And this is a game where Nebraska obviously wasn't very good last year, but they lost a whole lot of close games, like the most in the country by far. And Northwestern was, of course, one of the games that they won. And Nebraska's not returning a quarterback, but they got a quarterback from the transfer portal. And there was a stat that I was listening to cash the ticket earlier, and I believe Adrian Martinez, whichever Martinez is there or was there, turned the ball over 64 or 68 times in like 30 games or something, which is over 2 turnovers a game, which is just absolutely insane, and it's why Nebraska loses a lot of one-score games. With this game, it doesn't seem like it'd be close. I think Nebraska's favored by 13.5. So they're getting 2 touchdowns on the point spread against Northwestern, which would tell you that Vegas doesn't think it's going to be close. But it is in Ireland. Northwestern's coach's name is Fitzgerald. So I guess we don't know what's going to happen. And Northwestern they're not always good, of course, but they have these years where they're pretty competitive in the Big Ten. And it just seems like it's kind of random. So I expect Nebraska to win. I'm not quite sure about that point spread, but I'm excited to watch this game because I want to see what kind of football in Dublin will look like.
Yeah, so last year Nebraska went 3-9, and all 9 of their losses were by single digits. And all 3 of their wins were by an average of 30 points or more. So a very weird season for Nebraska. And like you said with Northwestern, who also went 3-9 last season, they have this weird ability to show up, and it seems to be every other year. They won the Big Ten West in 2018 and 2020. Well, here we are in 2022. So maybe it's an every other year thing for Northwestern. You're right. They don't have to deal with Adrian Martinez. He is now at Kansas State. Casey Thompson is the incoming transfer from Texas. He had 24 touchdowns and 9 picks last season. He is the new starter for Nebraska. 13.5 point spread. Just going off of what I've seen from last year with Northwestern and just how really bad they actually were. I'm going to take the points in this one and say that Nebraska covers a 13.5 points. I can see a 20-point victory. I hope that's not the case for the fans in Aviva Stadium in Dublin. I hope they get to see a great game because obviously college football does not get out there that often for them to see. So I hope that Northwestern brings it. I hope Nebraska brings it. And I hope we kick off the college football season, at least as far as week 0 is concerned, on the right foot. And we see a good game between the Cornhuskers and the Wildcats. A little bit later in the afternoon, the Yukon Huskies taking on Utah State at 4 p.m. on FS1. The Huskies bringing in Jim Mora as their new head coach. Yukon, a basketball school far and away. They've lost their football program a couple different times. It has not been good for the Yukon when it comes to football. And Utah State has been a pretty good program over the last, half a decade or so. They've given our Spartans a good battle in years past and been one of the better teams in their conference for a while. Expecting Utah State to roll all over the Huskies. But if you're looking for, a game to watch at 4 p.m., Fox Sports 1, FS1.
I guess you might just
there's
better
something
off
to watch at least.
Taking a nap or something, gearing up for the night games.
Yeah, I mean, not too much to talk about this one. Expecting Utah State to roll and roll handily. This is only the second time these two schools have met. The last time was 20 years ago, so you literally can't take anything away from that. A 27.5-point spread for Utah State. So if you're a gambling man and feel like UConn can be inside of 4 touchdowns, there you go. Put some money on the Huskies. At 4:30, Big Ten Network, Wyoming at Illinois. And this will be the first time these schools have ever met. Last season, Illinois had a 5-7 record, and not a great season, but they pulled victories over Penn State as well as Minnesota, and only 3 of those 7 came by more than a touchdown. They got a new quarterback coming in transfer from Syracuse, Tommy DeVito, and see if he can bring Illinois a better season than last season, starting off hosting Wyoming at 4:30 of the Big Ten Network. 11-point spread. Any thoughts for you on the Fighting Illini and the Broncos?
As long as they can score points in this game, they should be all right. Wyoming doesn't have a very good offense, and they really haven't ever had a really good offense, not even when Josh Allen was there. And now you see what Josh Allen's doing in the NFL, and it's like you couldn't even score points with this guy. So I think as long as Illinois doesn't get in like a rock fight, they should be all right. They should be all right with the spread as well. I think originally, just genuinely, they're a better team than Wyoming is. And the way to avoid the upset is to score points and for them to score them early, because Wyoming is not a team that's, built or designed to mount some type of comeback by just scoring in bunches.
A low spread in this game. I think it's around 40, 45 points. So they're not expecting a barn burner when it comes to a high scoring affair. And we'll see what this transfer from Syracuse, Tommy DeVito, can do with his new squad, the Fighting Illini. 11-point spread. I got nothing on this one. You feel like betting? Good luck to you. The late game, Vanderbilt traveling to Paradise to take on the Hawaii Warriors. This will be at 10:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. So, if you got a house party going on or something and you want something else in the background while everyone's drinking, you can have yourself a football game to watch. I always think, whoever got to go to Hawaii to start off the year is starting off quite lucky. You get to go to one of the more beautiful places on earth. Definitely one of the more beautiful places in this country. And the Rainbow Warriors, just the Warriors now. It's been that way for a while. They're ushering in a new era with a former quarterback of theirs. Timmy Chang is taking over his first season as head coach of the Warriors. And they get a nice tough test, quote-unquote tough test. They're taking on an SEC team. Not a good SEC team, but it is an SEC team, so maybe they get to see how they do against a Power 5 conference opponent.
I expect Vanderbilt to win this game. Not that I think either team is any good, but Hawaii certainly isn't any good. And if you're a Michigan fan, you'll get to see 2 of these teams that we talked about up close, because Michigan plays both UConn and Hawaii. With this, I expect Vanderbilt to win, even though they're not a good SEC team, like you said. They should still have SEC type talent. Of course, all the top talent is going to LSU or Alabama, Georgia, Florida, wherever, and Vanderbilt's getting the leftovers and the scraps. But I think those scraps are still better than what Hawaii is getting, because they're probably not getting like the best players in Hawaii either, with those guys going to USC, Notre Dame, wherever. So I don't know. I just feel like Vanderbilt has the players that Hawaii doesn't. Although Hawaii, of course, has the home field advantage with the time difference and everything else. So that is something that could factor into this game. I wouldn't bet on the spread, but I would think that Vanderbilt would win this game.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have an edge against Hawaii. Hawaii has a whole new head coach, whole new offensive system, a young quarterback who didn't play a ton last year. But if you're feeling froggish and feel like leaping, last year Vanderbilt started off week 0 against East Tennessee State University, and East Tennessee State University beat Vandy 23-3. So, like I said, you're feeling froggish, feel like leaping, there's a chance there you can bet on Hawaii. But Vanderbilt, they got a pretty decent run-two puncher running back in Ramon Davis and Rocco Griffin. And with Hawaii, literally a whole new system, new head coach, and a quarterback that hasn't played that much.